as the commander said, the relationship between Uganda and Zimbabwe is fraternal, brotherly, but also historical, because when we were fighting, we were together with your elders, Robert Mugabe, Nathan Shamuyarira. Nathan Shamuyarira was our teacher in the University of Dar es Salaam. So that's why we are saying that recognizing the undugu, the brotherhood of these people, and using it to achieve the other two, economic integration and political integration where possible, is really a duty for the African people. So these are the three, we summarize them as three historical missions: prosperity, strategic security, and brotherhood. And the four ideological principles: patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. This is the summary of the national resistance movement, our position.
My question is on the strategic security. I want to hear what is your perspective on the economic forums that are hosted by China, Russia, I think USA, and other countries on a yearly basis, on the context that they will be willing maybe to assist the African countries. My issue is we go there with different views instead of maybe going there as a united front. Mm-hmm. What's your comment on that, Your Excellency?
Okay. So we go, but it's not, we can try, but it's not easy because people involved don't see it. And some of them don't really see the thing very well. For instance, Botswana was part of COMESA. COMESA, Common Market for East Africa and Central Africa. But they left. They left. In 1980, when I was a minister, we went to Gaborone for a meeting with, they were calling it PTA, Preferential Trade Area. When we were there, and our chairperson was Saketumire Masire. Saritsa Kama was alive, but I think he was like sickly. That time he didn't come. It was Masire who was vice president. So when I went to fight in the bush, because me, I went to sort out some issues in the bush. After being a minister, I had to go back to the bush, sort out some domestic issues. But when I was fighting, I heard that Botswana had left COMESA. After now, I don't think they have joined. Now, why would, it was because Botswana, that time was depending on diamonds. Diamonds are not bought by Africans. They are bought by, I don't know who. So that's why they wouldn't. But recently, they came here because now they have started diversifying. So I always tell Africans, why are you not invited in the donors meetings? Because you are the biggest donors. Because in every kilo of coffee, Africans are donating like $30 to the others. So you are big donors. I must thank you very much for donating to the world. And you are donating not only money, but jobs. Because if you take a shot like this one, it has got like 6 job levels. When you grow the cotton, that's some jobs and some money. if you harvest the cotton and you gin it, there's what they call ginning, to remove the seeds from the cotton. That's some jobs and also some money. Now, many of the Africans end there. After ginning and baling, they sell. When you sell at that stage, you may get like $1 per kilo of cotton. Then somebody goes and spins the cotton into yarn. Those are jobs. Those are spinning jobs and more money. Then number 4, weaving. You weave the yarn into a fabric. That's money and jobs. Then number 5, you put colors, printing colors. Those are jobs and money. Number 6, you tailor. The tailoring, making a garment. Those are jobs. And you're not talking about the byproducts of the cotton. The Chinese were buying a lot of cotton here. And people thought they were just buying cotton for textiles only. They didn't know that cotton is also what helps them to make gunpowder, what we call nitrocellulose, the good gunpowder. So all this is all going away. It's really very irresponsible. Here, I have banned the export of unprocessed raw materials. I've banned it. I've said if you don't want to process the minerals here, let them stay here. Let them stay in the ground. The grandchildren will come and get them out if you people don't know how to get them out properly. And because of that, Uganda now has got, I think about 9 or so gold refineries to refine gold to 99.9 something percent. The other issue is really criminal, more or less, because like in the 1950s, with the British, they were producing copper here. They will produce copper, purify it up to 94% purity. 94% purity is what they call blister copper. But that copper is not pure enough to be used in the cables industry or in making transformers for electricity or in making other electrical equipment, kettles and all that. So here Uganda was producing copper and exporting it. But we had some Indians who had set up cables factories. They couldn't use that copper in their cables industry. Because to have copper which is pure enough, you need what they call cathode copper, which is 99.5 something pure. And it was not here. So all this copper would go all the way to Mombasa in Kenya for export. And then on the return journey, you get the properly purified copper to be used, imported now from I don't know where, to be used in the cables industry, which were bypassed by our copper. So this one we have rejected. We rejected it, and they are coming now because I said, let it stay in the ground until we get people to do it properly.
Your Excellency, I seek your comment on the issue of economic integration, where nations and regions continue to recognize that our resources are being sent out of the country cheaply. Is there any mechanism to make sure that these resources are protected in terms of strategies, Your Excellency?
One problem was that we stopped dialoguing among ourselves. Because when we were fighting, we used to exchange views. But after power, people, each one went their way. But if we were sharing, you could really coordinate, even before integration. We could even coordinate. But you hear this one is now doing this. It is part of not being aware. People are not aware. We need a lot of sensitization. But also, you know, by 1870, there was no country called Germany. There were Germanic people, Germanic-speaking people, but they were divided in 39 kingdoms. Prussia, what. But there was a business group in Prussia who were producing a lot of products. Like I'm telling you, if you get business people who are producing products, they will help us to understand the issue of integration in their own interest. Like in Tanzania, people did not, after Mwalimu Nyerere, some of the people were not talking so much about East Africa. But when the private sector started growing in Tanzania, I'm beginning to see more Tanzanians interested in the East African market because they have got something to sell. So I think the people who can help us to see it better are the business people who now produce. Then the internal market is not enough. Then they start saying, they can see the importance of the integration. Apart from we, the freedom fighters who preach, because we believe, the ones who can help us are also the business people. Like in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, if they settle down, here we are beginning to have groups like that who can say, oh, in Kenya they are very active. Kenyans support integration very much because they are business people. They understand it. It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Of their visitors to familiarize themselves with various thematic areas, including geopolitical, economic, religious, and cultural aspects, with purpose of enhancing their knowledge and knowledge sharing between our training institutions and strengthening regional cooperation and Pan-Africanism. Your Excellency, sir, the delegation led by Brigadier General Francis Chakuya arrived here yesterday in the morning, June 25th, and has since visited the UPDF Joint Headquarters and interacted with the Chief of Defense Forces and members of the Joint Staff Headquarters.
President Yoweri Museveni, I'm Brigadier General Francis Chakawea, head of the delegation from Zimbabwe, National Defense University. On behalf of my Commander Defense Forces, who's none other than General Philip Valerio Swanda, allow me, sir, to express my profound gratitude to you for accepting to host our delegation from the Zimbabwe National Defense University in your great country, the People's Republic of Uganda. The current regional and the international study tour 2025 of the course is divided into two groups. The first group is headed by the Vice Chancellor himself, and the entire group converged in Cuba first, the entire course. Then we separated from Cuba as they headed to Your Excellency. The relationship that exists between your great country and Zimbabwe is a special relationship which is characterized by deep-rooted Afrocentric interests, values, and a shared vision of making our two nations great. On that note, it is my fervent hope that the good relationship that exists between your great country and Zimbabwe will continue to grow from strength to strength. May the Lord bless Uganda and Zimbabwe. I thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you.